Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're going to explore a pretty profound, timeless philosophy found in Chapter 13 of Morals and Dogma. It's a concept known as the Royal Arch of Solomon. Now, I know, don't let that grand historical title intimidate you. While the name sounds super ancient and mysterious, the ideas behind it are actually incredibly relevant to our everyday lives. At its core, this is a lesson about discovery. It's about hidden truths and about our very own personal pursuit of enlightenment. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's start uncovering what lies just out of plain sight. I want to kick things off by posing a direct question to you. What truths are you overlooking? It's a pretty powerful thing to ask yourself, isn't it? You see, the everyday world we walk through is honestly a lot like an iceberg. Most of us just sail right past, only really acknowledging that top 10% of ice that's glittering above the water. We navigate our days purely on what's immediately obvious. But the true mass, the real foundation of that iceberg, is hidden deep underwater. So our source material today asks us to consider what profound realities we might literally be missing simply because we haven't taken the time to look below the waterline of our everyday routines.
We so often accept things entirely at face value. You know how it is. We read a quick headline, we hear a passing comment, or we observe a situation, and we instantly think, okay, I understand exactly what that is. But by stopping at the surface, we completely miss out on the profound wisdom hiding just out of sight. The source text teaches us the truth is rarely that obvious. The surface is really just an introduction. It's just the cover of the book. The real substance, the much deeper intelligence behind existence, well, that's always waiting beneath.
Okay, let's dive into this specific term from our source, the Royal Arch. It represents the active process of uncovering what was concealed. Now, I want you to translate this kind of esoteric, philosophical concept into an everyday idea. Think about it like this. Imagine you've lived in a house for years. You walk on the exact same wooden floors every single day. The Royal Arch is the act of finally getting down on your hands and knees, pulling up those floorboards of what you think you already know, and discovering a hidden basement filled with entirely new rooms. It's not just a fancy symbol. It's an active, rolling up your sleeves process of revealing the hidden framework of reality.
Notice the specific terminology our source uses to describe these concealed things. We see phrases like lost knowledge, buried truths, and forgotten wisdom. Now, why use those specific words? Because lost, buried, and forgotten all imply that these things absolutely still exist. They aren't gone forever. They've simply been misplaced by humanity, or maybe just obscured by the sheer noise of everyday life. These symbols are a really hopeful reminder to us as students. What is hidden can indeed be found. The truth is out there waiting for you, but it's only going to reveal itself to those who are willing to look beyond mere appearances and actively start digging.
So, how do we actually find these buried things? I mean, if we're going on an expedition to find buried treasure, we need to pack the right gear, right? Our source outlines 3 essential everyday tools required for this journey of discovery. Step 1 is curiosity. You have to actually want to know what's beneath the floorboards. Step 2 is a willingness to question. You have to actively stop assuming that the surface is all there is. And step 3 is persistence. You've got to keep digging even when the ground gets hard. Look, these aren't mystical tools. They are mindsets. Absolutely anyone can use them, but you have to consciously choose to pick them up. Which brings us to a very sobering yet incredibly motivating realization. Our source states clearly, truth is not given, it is earned. I really want that to sink in for a second. We live in this age of instant gratification, don't we? We can type a question into a search engine and get an answer in, 0.3 seconds? But true, profound, philosophical truth, yeah, it doesn't work like that. Digging for real truth is hard work. It requires immense patience and an active, persistent effort. You simply cannot passively consume wisdom. You have to earn it through your own sweat, your own critical thinking, and your own unyielding dedication.
Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why? Why isn't the truth just laid out clearly for everyone to see? It's a fair question. Truth is hidden because it requires effort to find. It demands deeper thinking, and it is simply not visible on the surface. Our source emphasizes that truth isn't concealed to trick us. It's not there to punish us. It's concealed because the very act of putting in the effort, the very act of engaging in that deeper thinking is exactly what prepares our minds to actually understand the truth once we find it. So as a student of life, you really have to trust the process. Don't give up when the search becomes difficult. The difficulty is the point.
And now, we reach the absolute climax of our journey today. Truth isn't just found, it changes you. Think about that for a moment. We so often treat truth like a static object, like finding a shiny coin on the street, putting it in our pocket, and walking away exactly the same person we were a minute ago. But genuine discovery, the kind of enlightenment discussed in the Royal Arch, is ultimately a complete transformation.
When you finally pull back the curtain and see the deeper reality of the world, you cannot simply go back to being the person who only looked at the surface. You changed.
This transformation, this change, is the real treasure of enlightenment. When you uncover truth, your understanding deepens. You stop seeing random events in isolation and start seeing the intricate connections between them. Your perspective absolutely expands. You stop viewing the world strictly through your own tiny lens and begin to understand the vast, complex intelligence behind existence. Your awareness grows. The Royal Arch teaches us that finding truth fundamentally alters who we are. We don't just possess a new fact, we achieve a completely new state of being.
But there is a vital final lesson we must learn here. And honestly, it's a warning as much as a guide. Our source draws a very hard line between knowledge and wisdom. You see, knowledge is finding the truth. It's doing the hard work to gather facts and see what was concealed. Wisdom, however, is understanding, applying, and using that truth responsibly. Knowledge without wisdom is incredibly dangerous. It's like finding a massive, powerful engine, but having absolutely no steering wheel. Our source reminds us that our goal is never just to know things. We have a deep ethical responsibility to act wisely upon what we discover.
I want to leave you with the absolute core teaching of the Royal Arch of Solomon. It's distilled into one very simple command. Do not accept things at face value. Whether it's a piece of news, a historical narrative, a relationship, or even your own internal beliefs. Question it, explore it, critically analyze your everyday reality. The path of discovery and enlightenment isn't just reserved for ancient philosophers sitting in dusty libraries. It is a daily practice. It is the conscious, everyday choice to continuously look beneath the surface of your own life.
Which brings us to our final thought. I started this explainer by asking what truths you might be overlooking. Now that you know the tools required and the sheer effort it takes to truly earn the truth, I have to ask you, how far are you willing to go in the search for understanding? Are you ready to pick up your tools, trust the difficult process of discovery, and let the hidden truths of the world completely transform you? Take that question with you today. Keep seeking, keep questioning, and always remember that the greatest truths are always waiting just beneath the surface. Thank you so much for learning with me today.